Hello YouTube, this Keith Kevin Kent. How you doing? How you doing? I hope you're doing well. It's time again for another knife of the day. This is where I show you a knife that I just bought, a new knife, and we talk about it. Gives me a chance to record my knives, gives my family a chance to see what new knives I've bought and talk about how I'm wasting money. But it does give you a whole record. It gives me a whole record. Who knows? I'm 59. When you get to retirement age, I might want to sell all of them and just keep a handful. And at least I can see all of the knives that I used to have. So let's talk about this. This is a special knife of the day. Now, a lot of you know that I get a lot of Spydercos in, and I'm expecting 3 new Spydercos at some point. I'm recording this on Friday, so I'll probably get them next week. If for some reason, I doubt it, because usually they'll tell me if they've been mailed. If they mail it, I don't know. Anyway, when they come, I'll let you know, and you'll see the knives of the day. But this just arrived yesterday, and I'm so excited about it. Most of the time I talk about production knives. Well, this is a full custom knife. Full custom knife. It's a T.A. Davison. Let's see if we can. A T.A. Davison custom knife. Todd Davison from Mississippi. He makes traditional slip joint knives like this one with very modern materials. He does everything by hand. He doesn't use a computer when he does file work, and I'll show you some of that as we go through this. He doesn't have all kinds of these special jibs and everything. It's freehand. Freehand. And I love how he sells knives too. Most of my knives, and I have hundreds of them, are production knives. And the real reason they're production knives is production knives are easy to buy. You see them, you buy them, they come to you. I have 8 custom knives. And I have a story for each one and how easy they were to get. This is really the 3rd one that I have bought directly from the maker. Yeah. And really the second one that I bought as soon as the maker made it available to sell. Todd, T.A. Davison, how he sells his, he's on Instagram. And I saw one of his knives. I was in, as you guys probably can tell, I was in my slip joint mood, and I get into that mood a lot. And someone that I follow and that follows me showed a slip joint, a custom slip joint, a picture of one that was all blacked out. The blade was black, the handle was black. It was just wonderful, and it was a custom knife, and I went gaga over it. You know, I don't know about you guys, when my heart starts pumping, my stomach gets tight, it's like, I want it. Sometimes in my comments, they don't use those words, but I know that's what they're feeling. With some of the knives I show, that's how I felt. So I started following this T.A. Davison on Instagram, watching all of the knives that he made available. And what he would do is every knife, maybe one every 2 weeks or so, he would finish a knife handmade from scratch and post it. So I went to his website. None of the knives were available on his website, but he did have a newsletter. So I signed up for the newsletter. And so as soon as he releases, he sends it a picture and all the stats to people on their newsletter. And listen to this. This might sound familiar to some of you. First one, it says, "It's mine." You can buy it. That's how I do my trimming, right? Say it's mine, and then he says it's yours. And I just haven't had the money. I mean, it's a handcrafted custom knife, so it's a lot more expensive than a Spyderco. Okay. But I had the money thanks to you guys, viewers who helped me with the trimming. When this came and I said, I want it, and I got it. So let's talk about it. By the way, I love how he does that. So let's talk about it. T.A. Davison, Todd Davison from Mississippi, hand does these traditional looking slip joints. So this one, oh, and he's been making knives since 1981. Started with fixed blades. Now he's doing these folders. So freehand from scratch. This blade hand rubbed. I don't know how much detail you can get. Just hand rubbed satin blade. You can smudge it up in the hand and just rub out, and the hand rub comes back. Just knowing that a talented craftsman has done something makes me just feel good inside. It does. It does. About a 3-inch blade. You see with the traditional nail nick. Usually, I was ready to say it's full flat ground, but no, he only does hollow ground blades. So it is hollow ground. But it's a high hollow grind. And so it can slice. By the way, this comes razor sharp. Razor sharp. Of course, it's hand sharpened. And here's the great thing. The blade steel is CPM 154. A real nice steel that retains an edge very well. And it comes up with a real nice sharp edge. Modern steel. Good steel. Great steel, actually. Drop point blade, nail nick. And he has 2 swedges on top. One on this side, one on the other. Again, around a little bit over 3 inches. You see his maker's mark, T.A. Davison. I also like it because you can get a real good grip. Look, 4 fingers, 4 fat fingers around the base of the blade, because you really do have this space here, like a forward choil, that you can do anything you need to do with this. It has a good, actually, I got it from reading his stuff. I know people have been saying it a long time. Walk and talk. I mean, it's a strong spring, but not too strong, where it just is great. Super centered. Pulls out nice. As you can tell, it has a half stop. I always talk about the half stop. I like mine with half stops because it'll stop and say, move your hands out of the way. It's a nice safety thing. But it pulls up, and I have no fingernails. Again, CPM 154 steel, 3-inch. The total length is about a little over 6 inches. About 6.2 inches. Stainless steel bolsters, 4 of them that are pinstriped. And again, hand rubbed, feels unbelievable. That spring, look how flush it is. You can tell where the spring is, but man, it's as smooth as can be. We're talking about handmade, not one machine. Freehand. Smooth. Then goes to a half stop, it's smooth again. You can see it poke out and then smooth again. So real nice knife. Yeah, did you catch that? The stainless steel liners coined on both sides. by hand. And if you can see inside, the back of the spring is filed down by hand. That's inside the knife, folks. That's a man who loves his craft. He could have kept the whole back of the spring like most traditional slip joints, just regular, smooth like right there. But instead, he goes in and files it down. I'll see it. And now you're seeing it. He kept that part smooth because, you know, the tang, the forward tang fits there. I get it. I can't make anything. I can barely make a sandwich that doesn't drip over the bread. So for someone to take the time to hand make something, and I still remember the stories about Steve Jobs where he made sure that people made the inside of his computers as beautiful as the outside. No one would ever see them. But that attention to detail, I don't have attention to detail, as you guys know by watching these videos like that. But man, I respect people who do. Great craftsmen. So coined on the edges, that foul work inside on the backside of the spring. You only get that kind of stuff from a custom knife. That's plain and simple. Full custom handmade knife. This is a jig bone knife. Again, the scales are jig boned on top of those stainless steel. And it's dark green. I like that color. And I like jig bone. You know, he does micarta and all kinds of other materials for handles. But there was something that really spoke to me with the jig boned. I think whether it's a production knife or whatever, maybe the next one. I have a pinna, I call it pinna, custom slip joint knife, and it's this beautiful micarta inlays, and he does all of those things from G10 to whatever. But I'm so happy the first knife is jig bone. To me, this is my father's and grandfather's kind of knife. This right here in my mind's dictionary is knife. Growing up. And I just love that jig bone. And remember, I love the smooth edges. You know, Case Knives came out with pocket worn, where it's a new knife, but it feels pocket worn, like it has naturally worn down. He's done that here. There are listen to me, no rough edges. This is a lifetime knife. Lifetime. That on the liners don't get touched. This is a working knife, but a beautiful one too. And inside will never get touched. It'll stay like that. But I'll know it's there, and it feels so great. Acorn emblem. What did I call it? Emblem. He has several different kind of emblems. The shields I'm talking about. But just a wonderful shield. Everything is smoothed out with detail. What's the difference between this and a Case knife? Well, price. But also, you don't get the hand filing. You don't get the hand rubbed. You don't get a person who signs the knife. It's not a custom. It's not a custom. And while you guys know I'm not a hard knife user anyway, this is one of my retirement knives. Pass it down. I love it. The knife of the day. Oh, you did good work, Mr. Davison. You did great work, Todd. It's a T.A. Davison. And you can go on Instagram or YouTube and take a look at some of his knives. Check him out on Instagram if you're interested in buying one or just seeing the variety of knives that he's done. This is mine, like a little kid. My T.A. Davison custom slip joint, dark green. Jig bone knife. I thought I'd put it next to a native because you guys are familiar with natives, right? The Spyderco native and a Spyderco Delica. Just because you're used to those in your mind so you can see what kind of size it has. That is my 8th custom. And yeah, they're way too expensive. But man, they're so worth it. I feel good. And it's Friday too, and a payday. Heaven for a day. And then I pay my bills and pay for income tax like everybody else. You guys have a perfect day. Take good care of yourselves. Please take good care of yourselves. I want you here when I'm doing videos. I really appreciate all of you guys. I know we don't know each other to shake hands, do the bro hug. But, you know, I still have this retirement dream of getting a van, traveling around the U.S., stopping at local cigar places and knife places, and eating good food, smoking good cigars, playing with good knives, and maybe meeting some of you guys. You have a perfect day. Don't forget to subscribe, turn on your notifications. As soon as I get the Spydercos, no matter what day it is, I turn on the camera and do a video. You guys have a perfect day. Keep those pockets full. Goodbye.